What's going on, y'all? This is Comms Engineering, and in this video we're going to go over the contact us page and styling it for the website. So you may see here that we have some modified files, and maybe you have some that say you that are new or updated. We got to push those into the GitHub. Now if you were to walk through, what we do to add those files is git add period enter. I've already done it, but after that you do git status, and that's going to show you what files are going to be updated. It should be a green color in the terminal. Those files should be green listed under each other. And then after that you just do git commit, and if you want to add a message to it, you do /m quotation marks and whatever you want to write in those quotation marks. And after that the last thing you do is just git push origin main, and that's going to push everything into the branch. And then all of these files should be white, or they shouldn't have a letter next to it. But okay, to start off with the contact us page, we go up to the new file button, contact.html, and then same what we've always done is take this nav from any other HTML file from nav up top and then paste it here. Remember to add the body. And now what we want to do here is we should just have meta name link and your title. We're going to change this to contact CSS. It's not created yet. We'll go over here and type contact CSS. Now that's going to be linked to this. And last thing we do is, if you remember, because the HTML has to go with the CSS, its respective one, we'll just take the nav bar that we made in the first video and go back to the new CSS, paste it in there, save it, save the HTML. We don't need the donate anymore or the index. I don't know why that's up, but this should be the foundation. So it's not updated yet. Go back and see what's wrong. There's an X over there. There we go. Okay, there's an X there. Okay, that should do it. Now we have a nav bar for every single one of them. Now we can continue on making the actual contact page content. First thing we want to do is go back here, the contact us page, and we're going to make a div class and set that equals to contact us. And inside of that class, we're going to do another div class equal to title. So this first div class will have every single content for this HTML page, and for the title, this is just going to be an H2. Get in touch. See how that looks? Okay. Under the div and the title class, go right under it. Div class equals box. Div class equals content form. So we're gonna add another form function into this. Okay, do a quick H3, send message, save it, see how it looks. Okay. So the goal with this is to make a couple boxes, one that has your phone number, one email, one a message you want to send, and your name. So we're making a couple boxes into these div classes. But as I was explaining before, the type of form function that we're going to have is going to be what's called a Google script. And you're going to need a Gmail, your Gmail account to do this. Completely free, doesn't cost anything. Script.google.com. And then we're going to come back to this. I'm just going to leave it like that. But essentially, we're gonna have everything inside of this form in order for these send messages to work. So first thing we're gonna do is div class, another div class. This is div class land, div class lesson. Call this form box. A lot of classes and a lot of names. I know. Inside of that div class, we're gonna have div class equals to row one. Call row one, and then inside of that, oh my gosh, equal input box. Okay, you guys can take a break now. No more div classes. As for right now, we'll pick back up soon. Inside of this div class, we're gonna do span first name, control save, and we're gonna put an input. This is basically what the user types in, what you using the computer are gonna input into the computer. Okay, so do first name. Let's call it, make a input type first name. Name is equals to first name. These are our placeholders, what you see in gray. As you can see here, the first name, and it has a box right next to it. That's going to be the first input box div class. We're going to make the same exact one right under it, but for this, it's going to be for the last name. Let's just change these up. Save that, go back and see. Okay, we have two independent boxes, one for first, one for last. Let's move on to the email function. So right under this, under row one, we'll make a class identical to row one, just call it row one again. The reason that we're making row one again is that we're gonna be doing the same styling for both of these, for all of these boxes. And so we can just simply call it, as you can see, it highlighted the same word. We can simply call it from row one when we're doing our CSS. Same goes for input box. So in here we do span email. Under that, we'll take this line here, copy and paste it. And input type is going to be email, obviously. Name, email again. ID, you guessed it, email, and we can just have something like name@example.com. So here I see this format is not exactly like what we have here. This is all kind of in the same starting position. I'm just going to change that real quick by highlighting it and just pressing tab once. There we go. It looks a lot cleaner and more formatted now. For the mobile now, and here I just do a bunch of hashtags for the number, for that telephone number, and that's our row 1. Now we can make a different class called row 2, because this is going to be formatted right next to these boxes, as you will see in a bit. First of all, let's see how the boxes turned out, and there we go. So now we can go under the row 1 class, the second row 1 class, and get started with row 2. And this one is going to be formatted differently than row 1, as you will see shortly. So let's take this. Input box is going to remain the same for all of them, but in this row 2, we're going to have message. We're going to delete this line, and under here, we're going to have something called a text area. This is where people are going to, the user, such as yourself, is going to send, or a client that you work with is going to send, or a community member is going to send a message through this contact us page. So let's give it a name, message, and a placeholder. This is customizable, but I'm just going to do write your message here. And then it should do it. Under that, let's make another row 2, same thing. However, all we need here is just the submit button. So input. So what type of HTML tag do I need to put for the submit button? Is it input or is it text area? If I'm going to click a button that says submit, what type of HTML is that? If you guessed input, you're correct, because we're inputting some sort of, if you remember from the earlier videos, I said like clicks and highlights, those type of things are inputs. So we're going to submit, and then value, we're going to assign it a value. This is basically the name of the button, which is just going to be send, and that's all there is to it. All right, so we're going to go up here, div class cont form, which means content of the form. Scroll down and see where the white line is. Go right under that div. And now we want to make the content for the information. This is just going to include the address of your mosque, like a mail to and a telephone number with the country code. Similar stuff, pretty easy. We'll start off with an H3, saying contact info. Under that, we do div class equals the infamous input box. And then inside of that, we do div and hit enter. This is a div with no class. Now we do span icon name equal to location outline. Let's go back to see what we have so far. Here we have this highlighted right here. All of what I've highlighted right here, including this send button, is the contact form. It's the contact form. Now we have the contact info going. So under that, we do paragraphic text and Neboe, for example. I'm just going to put a random one here. And after that, to make a new line, we just simply type BR, which means break, and then keep typing after that. Medina, Saudi Arabia. Okay. Remember, none of this is formatted as of right now, so we're just going to keep on going until we get to the CSS. Another nameless div. We can simply copy this, and then under that, make one last div, and then paste. Now for this, it's going to be mail outline. Remove this line. Type in ahref for a link type of button or a link type of tag. Mail to, this is important, you gotta type in mail to name@example.com. But obviously remember to put your actual message email. Give it a name so it can light up in blue, as I'm about to show you here. Now as you can see, once I click on it, it takes me to the mail app because I used that mail to function. So that's important. Just going back, last thing is gonna be the call outline. Remove that line. Copy and paste this one. You need to type in tel : parentheses country code. Your country code is just some number that goes in front of your digits depending on where you are in the world. Put a bunch of numbers or hashtags here. And again, doesn't really matter. Just you can put this or you can put a random number or a random phone number. It doesn't really matter. But again, this will light up in blue as well. So you can call it some sort of call app. All right, so the last thing to do is go under this div class content info, and we're going to add one more class for the map content. So cont map, we can just call it. What we're going to have inside here is another iframe. If you remember from earlier in the tutorial, we had the Mosque iframe, which we grabbed from a different website and put it into our website, Mosque website. It's going to be the same thing, but we're going to use Google Maps source. So as you can see, I put Masjid al-Nabawi for the example one. So we just search Masjid al-Nabawi and then go to maps. Here it is. What I want to do is go to share, embed a map. This is the only thing that I need. So copy this HTML, go back to VS Code. We can remove this because it already offers it for us and paste it in. That's all you need. So if we go back to the website, we can see here it is, Masjid al-Nabawi in the website. So all it does is take information from a different website and put it into your website. That's the function of the iframe. We can change this to make it smaller and bigger. 200, like 150, for example. It's a lot smaller now, but you get the idea. You can change it to whatever you like. And that's all there is to it for the HTML content. In the next video, we're going to do the CSS and apply the Google script for this form to work. See you in the next video.